And welcome back to Pure Nebraska. As you know, we're bringing you a live Pure Nebraska show here from Husker Harvest Days. We've been here all 3 days. It's been a great time. We're here at the KRVN Rural Radio Network building and also Nebraska Farm Bureau. And they've been kind enough to let us camp out here for a while in the mornings.
No, we've had a great time, and thanks to Alan and Mike here too out of Hastings for helping us out today with
great
the show.
Guys, great work.
We appreciate it. Yes, we should give them a round of applause.
Yes,
Thank you guys. And so, as you know, here on the show, we always like to visit with the farm women's group, CommonGround. And of course, CommonGround is a group of farm women who want to be a resource for consumers who want to know more about how their food is grown. And today we are talking with Susan Littlefield, and she's with KRVN. But today you're wearing a different hat with CommonGround today.
Well, good morning to you guys.
Good
It's a beautiful day.
Oh, it's great. I like the breeze a little bit.
I do too. We could use it at Husker Harvest Days.
Yeah, it got a little hot, I thought, yesterday afternoon, but still fun.
A little, yeah,
still fun.
very much so.
So you've been here all 3 days now. What have you been seeing? What have you been learning?
Lots of things. You know, technology is constantly changing. We saw the new round baler that was unveiled here yesterday at Husker Harvest Days, a self-propelled round baler, and producers were really excited about it. One farm wife said, now if they could just make a self-propelled rake so I could stay ahead of my husband when we're baling hay. But, you know, really optimism and positive thoughts as we head into 2018, which is always good because you kind of get the vibe and the feel of people as you're here. So people are looking forward to getting harvest underway and just really continuing to tell the story of agriculture.
I know that with CommonGround, there's a lot of focus on making that connection with consumers. And how does an event like this connect with consumers? I know farmers really learn a lot here, but how does it impact consumers as well?
You know, I was really surprised, and it's something that I've always wondered if we should take a random poll as people are coming through the gate. Are you an ag or are you not an ag? Mm-hmm. Because there's a lot of folks that aren't in agriculture that come out here just so they can learn and check it out. And I had a conversation with a woman yesterday who really questioned why the governor wasn't here. And I said, well, he's in Japan on a trade mission. And she says, trade has nothing to do with Nebraska or agriculture. So we had a great conversation with her about how important trade was to everyday life of those producers. And she says, well, I live in Lincoln and I've always heard about this Husker Harvest Days thing and I just wanted to come check it out. So you know, if there's one, there's got to be many that are out here. So it's a great way to connect.
Yeah, really.
And, you know, it seems NAFTA is a big issue for farmers. What's been your experience with this topic?
You know, when I first started covering NAFTA years ago, and when NAFTA first came around, it was kind of, my perspective of it has changed, especially since just a month ago I spent time in Mexico and in southern Texas right before the hurricanes came through, and to really get their thoughts on how NAFTA affects them on a daily basis and how they really do rely on that trade internationally. And I spent time at a brewery when we were in Mexico, and this gentleman, who must have been nothing more than 32, 33 years old, held up a stein of beer and said, this isn't Mexican beer, this is North American beer. He talked about how he bought his grains out of Canada, the United States. He bought his hops out of Washington State and Oregon. And because of that, he says he mashes it all together in Mexico to make a beer that has a vast array of different producers helping to make it. And when he said that, it really kind of puts it in perspective, and I think perspectives that consumers can understand, that so many integral parts can come together to make such a great product. We were at a feedlot, and he has 20,000 in his feedlot. He never would have been able to bring his daughters and his son back to the operation if it hadn't been for NAFTA. And he buys his grains out of Nebraska and Iowa. And they come down on the Kansas City rail line. So it really shows, I mean, not just those three countries, but globally, how much it really affects what we do.
Great examples there. Susan, thank you. Always great to see you. Enjoy the last day here.
Oh, I definitely will.
Get back to your family.
Yeah, they probably miss me, I hope.
They're surviving without you.
Yeah, barely.
Thanks, Susan.
Thanks.